Welcome to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde. I'm Trevor, and this is Kat, and together we're taking you along on our wild adventures through the passages and mountains of Alaska, British Columbia and Washington, and down the California coast to Mexico and beyond. So join us as we share an honest depiction of the cruiser's life, from fun in the sun to cold and stormy and everything in between. Thanks for tuning in to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde, and enjoy the episode.
Good morning. It's December 13th, 2 days before Trevor's birthday. Woo! And we are just leaving our anchorage to head out on about a 130-mile trek across to Bahia Santa Maria. So we took off at 7 a.m. and are expecting to get in tomorrow. I just dodged a couple of lobster pots and have a decent little breeze going. We have our main and Genoa out, and we're starting to cruise.
Well, we're settled into a nice little pace, just cruising along around 3 knots. And it's supposed to pick up a bit later. Got our friends on Malahini next to us. They left just a little after us. And being on a catamaran, they caught up. Yeah, it's a nice day. It's warm out, sunny. Settling in for the old 24-hour plus sail.
All right, Trevor has another fish on the line.
Another Dorado. This one seems maybe a little smaller. Not putting up nearly as much of a fight. Oh boy. Oh, lost it. Oh, we lost that one.
That is seagull. Well, that was cool. We came upon a big school of something that were rippling across the water and making it boil and sound like a really strong wind.
No doubt be big predator fish underneath that school chasing them. That's why they're desperately jumping to the surface and moving around like that and clumping up.
Mama and baby.
Well, the wind is being frustratingly fluky. It's staying the same direction, but it's just changing in speed over and over and over again. So it's pretty much calm now. We were only going 2 knots, so we're gonna power for a bit. Really need to charge the batteries up. So we'll just, I'm gonna be disciplined and keep the engine on for an hour. Something I'm usually don't have to discipline myself for, but I need to. Those whales have been sweet. All right, after a bunch of bobbing around for probably 2 or 3 hours, we have some nice wind now and are cruising at a fair pace. Lots of Dorado jumping around, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have one on the line soon enough. Sun's getting ready to set, and we'll be doing our first overnighter for a little while after those 3 little day bumps, which have been really nice. But the sailing is nice and gentle, cruising along at around 4 knots, so I'm just totally okay with that. It'd be nice if it's 5, but it means the waves stay small, so that works fine for us. Making our little bed out here where we'll take turns napping and keeping an eye out. And we can still see our bungee boats. I like that term someone told us. Rather than buddy boats, bungee boats, you know, loosely hang around with them. So we're bungee boating with these guys kind of. And they're both about 3 miles from us. Yeah, nice sailing. Almost no swell out here. It's pretty nice. Well, it was a really slow night of sailing. It started off okay, but we've been just bobbing around for a while. There seems to be some wind lines around now that I was thinking of starting the engine. And so I'm just gonna give it a little bit while the sun starts to come up here. We'll see where we're at, but we're halfway there in about just a little under 24 hours. So it's been very slow progress. I guess we're making like 2.5 knots average or something like that. So as you can hear, the sails are walloping around. That's what they've been doing for a while. It's pretty jarring, pretty frustrating when you're doing 130 miles. You know, motoring's kind of futile because you could motor, I guess, lots of good wood, but that's not what we're doing. I don't want to motor for 12 hours straight, so we'll wait a bit here. Okay, a few minutes later, the wind is on and we're cruising along at probably 4 or 5 knots, just like that. Hopefully this sticks around. So we're just barely managing to get the Spinnaker to fly now, the asymmetrical. It's giving us a little more pace, so just get a little tiny bit more wind. They actually going at a pretty good pace. Gooing. Well, we gave the Spinnaker an honest try between the swell and the very inconsistent wave, not even like 3 or 4 knots of wind. It was just flopping all over the place. There was like a couple moments where we had okay speed, but so we're back powering again here for a bit. Just hoping the wind's gonna come up. What are we doing?
We're flying the Spinnaker. We have a little bit of breeze, which is very nice, just for the fact that it's really hot out here, and it seems like the wind might pick up. So we're getting closer to Santa Maria Bay.
So the sailing directions said that Cabo Lazario looks like an island from afar, and I would definitely agree. You can't see the mainland at all. All I see is this, what looks like an island, but it's just a mountainous area surrounded by a lot of lowlands that we're going to be going and tucking up into. But good sailing. We got the Spinnaker rolling still. We've been seeing 5 knots at times, which has been a treat. Yeah, it'll be a post-sunset arrival, but it's a very simple bay to get into. There's no outlying dangers to be concerned of. We'll just roll on in, big wide entrance, and then motor up into the bay until we find a depth we like, and then we anchor. It's our second sunset of this 135-mile trip. We weren't expecting to have that, seeing as we left at 7 in the morning yesterday. But that's how it goes sometimes. It was very, very mellow wind for most of the trip until now, until the last couple hours. So we're making a really nice pace now. So hoping this will keep up and get us in, and hopefully we're anchored by like, well, 8 would be sweet. Yeah, I think that's actually possible, so that'd be great. Making dinner now too. Some veggies, fish that we caught, dorado, and there's kiwa. Yum!
Trevor's last day being 37.
And I get to have the one extra cookie because it's my birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, you do.
There you go.
Thank you.
Fair sailing continued until within a few miles of Bahia Santa Maria, allowing us to leave the motor off until the last minute. It was an at times frustrating crossing that lasted a lot longer than expected, but we took it in stride and enjoyed the journey all the same.
So it's mid-December and it's my birthday today, and we're just hanging out in this beautiful Bahia Santa Maria and gonna hang out with some of our buddy boat friends and do a little surfing. They have extra boards, so that's what we're up to now, and then we'll probably go for a hike in a little bit. What you doing, Kat?
Doing the dishes.
Our water conservation mode. We just grab buckets of salt water and then use a little squirt bottle to rinse them off with fresh. And we only end up using like a liter of water to do a whole load of dishes.
You're gonna get drifted out, so line up on the shore this way.
We're hanging out in the lovely Bahia Santa Maria on the west coast of the Baja, pretty close to Magdalena Bay. And I was doing a bit of surfing with some of the fellow buddy boats there, and Kat was on her stand-up paddleboard. And we're just at the mouth of the estuary where this little fish camp, and the current is just flying out of here, so the waves are breaking really easily in there. It was pretty cool to surf in there, really easy to get back to the waves. Also, like, it's amazing how powerful the current is, and it was hard to get across here to this beach. We're just having a little break right now and having a little snack. But it's a wonderful day out here on the west coast. Plenty warm, not a cloud in the sky. It's very calm too, so it's a good day not to be sailing. Yeah, beautiful here. Lots of wildlife. Saw a bunch of dolphins earlier. Lots of birds. Yeah.
I had a very nice paddleboard, and the surf was fun. It was confusing. I felt the current, but I wasn't really sure which way to go, and then I just decided to come around and get sloshed around. I caught a wave too on my stand-up paddleboard. That was fun.
Hi.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
He's in his birthday suit.
So nice.
It's so nice. We're gonna go on a little hike-see up a little hill-see. Can't believe this big prickly bush has flowers.
We did it.
Back to the ocean.
Good morning from Bahia Santa Maria. It was a very calm night, completely still. The boat was so dewy, and it was quite hot and muggy last night. I was trying to sleep without any kind of breeze. The first night with no breeze at all for I don't know how long. Just looking at the forecast, and it's quite light for us to get down to Cabo, but this is about the only little window before it's basically variable and calm. We're switching out the Genoa for our bigger one that we have stowed away, so that will hopefully give us a little more power for our way down. This one's cut fairly high, and the other one is cut really, it's almost a deck sweeper as it were, and should give us, yeah, a lot more strength. All right, we're just waiting around for the wind to start up still. We're gonna go snorkeling, but in the meantime, some local fishermen sold us some lobster. Spiny lobster, there they are. Brr. Spiky, punk rock. Anyway, so I'm gonna process these guys now. It's not very happy with me. We're just getting ready to roll here, and there's a couple humpbacks surfacing really close to the boat. It's like 300, 200 feet, just circling. Feels sad to leave, but there's a nice little breeze blowing. It's kind of been on up and down, but should be getting us going pretty quick here on this flat water.
Alright.
Hopefully this is not a sign of things to come. It's a little fluky here in the bay, but looks a little better just a half mile ahead. Okay, we're just getting out of the bay here, and the wind is pretty nice. Making a nice angle at a nice speed.
Well, I think this is close to my 70th day sailing, and I've finally gotten over the hump. I no longer get seasick, really. Before I had met Trevor, I had been commercial fishing in Southeast Alaska, and we would go out for 3-day stints, 3 to 4 day stints, and every time I would feel a little bit nauseous, maybe vomit a little bit, and then by the 3rd or 4th day, I felt great, and I felt like I could keep on working. When I went sailing with Trevor for the first time, we were coming out of Nanaimo Harbor, and I was not used to the boat heeling over, and it was pretty choppy and rough out, and I immediately got sick, but then, could recover and felt great and could move around about. When we left Nia Bay, it was my 30th day sailing, and I was really excited. I initially liked the feeling of the swell. I was really excited by it. We were sailing very slowly, and so I started feeling nauseous after that. And since our offshore experience, my motion sickness would just be like really consistent. Even if I did vomit, maybe I had a little bit of relief, but generally I just was like down, wanted to sleep, like could hardly get up or move about. I could understand how after 3 days of being in a big gale with huge seas and feeling pretty afraid that my body having to like re-experience that sensation again was a little traumatized by it. So fortunately we've had a lot of flexibility in our timeline and have been able to choose what days we want to go sailing. And so we picked days that had low swell and generally good winds, and so we were able to just like move along. And I was taking medication. I would take Dramamine and also it's called scopolamine, the prescribed patches. And that worked. I wouldn't get sick, but I would just sleep and hardly wanted to move, really, which is unlike me. And over the course of the last, 2 weeks since we've been in Mexico, it's just totally gone away. And I'm no longer taking any kind of medications. If I'm down below and trying to cook or going to the bathroom or something and down there for too long, I still get a little queasy, but I can recover from it. The more you stick with it and continue to be in that kind of environment, your body does acclimatize to it. For anyone who thinks that they just get motion sickness all the time, I don't know if that is necessarily true, or I don't think it has to be true. I think you can work through it if you want to. So even though this is in total around 70 days that I've ever really sailed, we're spending a lot of our time on the boat. And I do think that even though we're in anchorages that are fairly well protected and calm, there's still always that little gentle roll. Over time, just being exposed to that little bit of motion has really, I think, helped in the long run. And over time, I think it really has helped me keep my sea legs, even if we're not sailing every day. But to return back to that and still have to, cook with just a little bit of movement has really helped over the days and the weeks and the months.
I don't know why we didn't put the Spinnaker up earlier, but we put it up now, and it's giving us a little boost here. We're making a great pace as the sun gets ready to set on our first of what will be 2 nights at sea on our trip down to Cabo. It's a lovely way to see the day off. This is also the second to last time we'll be sailing overnight on this trip, I think. There's a possibility we could do it in the Sea of Cortez, but not much. And nothing planned at the moment, so this is the last mandatory overnighters that we have coming up here. Nice chill sailing. Got Spinnaker up still here, and Kat's making dinner. That's exciting because it's another step in her feeling better, not getting seasick. And yeah, it's beautiful out here. Stars nice, it's warm, bit of moon out. There's a little bit of light there on the sails to show you what it looks like. Beautiful night though. This is something you can only describe and have to experience to really see it.
Coming up in the next episode, we continue our slow sail to Cabo San Lucas with the usual joyous dolphins guiding us in. Once anchored there, we quickly take care of town things, then get the heck out of that tourist trap of a city and turn in a corner into the Gulf of California. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now!